Yeah, so I'm back. I'm back, boys, and holy balls, do I return with a vengeance. So today, this is a topic or clip sent to me by someone, and this has got to be the dumbest, most ridiculous thing I think I've heard yet. So much so that it brought your dog out of retirement. Plus, rent's due on the first, and I want to use it as side money. I'm joking. Unless. Anyhow, this lady right here without all the fancy terminology is basically calling every man taking in oxygen a PDF. Now, before you critical thinkers and know-it-alls get to flapping your gums, we need to really sit back and listen before we respond. Because what she's trying to say isn't inherently wrong. There's a lot of dudes out there with daughters who unfortunately choose to touch them over a grown woman. However, I'm a man, last time I checked. And even though I do not have nor would I like any children, I don't make it a life goal of mine to further my legacy by creating them and sexually abusing my daughter. It just sadly hasn't made my top 1 trillion most important goals in life. So I take offense to this, and we're gonna dive into it right now.
One reason why the nuclear family was so heavily promoted by the government was because they wanted to give men as fathers the ability to be PDF files.
See, I don't necessarily disagree with this, but where is your proof? I need one piece. I need one solid piece of evidence anywhere near this being true. Please, please.
Without actually having to go out and find a child. That is what my theory is.
At least she admitted she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
I literally just posted a video talking about how men being deadbeats is the natural order. And historically, children were always raised in a village with nothing but women.
Does she own a smartphone? Laptop? Desktop? Tablet? Does she know where the nearest library is? There's no reason why in 2025 you should have absolutely no access to the internet. Because how much do you want to bet her understanding of this fact, air quoting, I'm air quoting right now, fact stems for what she believes in, not like actually fact checking anything. Don't worry, my bet's not that high.
Men were never in the picture. I was raised by a village of women and no women. And even when my father was in my life until he wasn't allowed to be per a situation, then he was allowed to come back into my life per my mother's approval. And I did not welcome him back in my life with open arms because I enjoyed my matriarch so much. But I genuinely believe that one of the reasons for the nuclear family was to allow men to come in close proximity to children.
I see what's going on here. I can smell it from a mile away. She has been through something either with her dad or with other men, and this is just projection, bro. At least I'm really hoping it is. Nothing else makes sense.
And for them to be able to secretly do things to their own children so that way it will be harder for them to get caught.
But why? Why have you gotten to this point? Why is this thy first thing that thy thinks of? I do not understand. I'm not picking something up. Something being put down that I am not strong enough to pick up. How did we get here?
Men don't have a vessel of life.
Huh?
They do not have a life force.
What?
They have a Y chromosome, which has their genetic material very, very small, very, very condensed, as opposed to women having 2 X chromosomes.
Did this bitch just take me to biology class to try to prove her point of why all men are PDFs? Is that what actually just happened? What's going on? What am I watching?
Men are always looking for some type of life force, and there's no stronger life force than you can have than a child.
Okay, I agree. And
this is also why I feel as though why a lot of men are so pro-life. A lot of men are fucking pro-life because they want to have more options to touch on that demographic.
oh my god. can't actually be this dumb. Like, you can't see the world. There's no way that somebody sees the world with this much negativity. There's just no way. I don't believe what I'm listening to right now. And it's going through my eardrums, and it's recorded, and I still don't believe it.
They want more kids to choose from, honestly. Especially when even statistically, only boys are impacted by not having a father in the home. Girls are not heavily impacted by not having a father in the home because of this shit.
Nothing else needs to be said besides she's loud and wrong.
Because of how the fathers are looking at their daughters. And a lot of daughters can attest to the fact that once they reach a certain age, once they get into that prepubescent, and you become a woman and now you have the ability to get pregnant, fathers don't look at their daughters the same anymore, because they start realizing, oh shit, she actually is getting closer to becoming a woman, as if she was going to be a woman that I would be out here dating personally in my life. And so what happens is that they have to like consciously think in their brain how to cut that shit off, and try to reason with that thought that they are having, where it's like, I've literally schmexualized my own daughter while she's been a child, and then now that she's actually like getting closer to being an adult, I can't be turned on to that point. I can't be turned on to that point, because then it's like you have to cut that shit off, because then what are you going to do next? You're going to date your own daughter. You're going to sleep with your own daughter. These men, especially, like if you have a husband, or you have a male in your life, and like he's afraid to change little girls' diapers, he starts freaking out. It's always the men that have an issue with changing diapers. They either fear changing diapers, or they're like very, very like hyper vigilant when it comes to the privates of another child. Those most specifically are the ones that you got to look out for them, okay? Because for a lot of them, the whole purpose of them even wanting a child in the first place was because they wanted a child readily available for their own pleasure.
So, like, it's not like I disagree with there being men out there that sexualize their own daughters, especially when they get to a certain age. That part, that's completely fine. I agree with that part. You're just spewing a bunch of bullshit for the majority of your video after that. I mean, this is ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous. And it doesn't make it any better that her entire TikTok is based off of completely crapping on dudes. Not to mention she's dudeless. And then everyone in the comments, they're all women. Who would have thought? Like, I can't fathom a world of where I would hate women so much. I can't fathom a world. I really don't. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys have the same opinion as me, or if you don't, I really don't give a damn. If you just enjoyed the video, if you want to talk about it in the comments with each other or whatever, go ahead and do it. If you don't, I also don't care. I'm here just because I wanted to make this. I wanted to just spew these out, and that's it. You guys have a great rest of your day, and remember, keep on strutting. Because apparently, you're a PDF. Just saying.